It has been over 15 years now since the first iPhone debuted. The very first iPhone seems primitive compared to the iPhones we have today. Apple launched the first iPhone more than 12 years ago in January 2007, and compared to the current batch of iPhone and its series, the first version of iPhone seems primitive. Let's take a look at how the first iPhone was, the feature which the first iPhone had, which is not present in today's iPhone. But before we go into that, kindly drop me a subscribe on this content, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notification, and also like this video. Pass your comment in the comment box. More than 12 years ago, Steve Jobs revealed the first iPhone to the world. It was actually a revelation. Before the iPhone came out, smartphones were clunky devices. They had keyboards, which was half the phone and also half screen. Website did not run on mobile phone in full scale. In turn, companies were forced to build weak mobile websites for their sites. The iPhone changed all the narratives, and yet the typical smartphone experience we all enjoy today did not happen overnight. It took years of Apple adding features upon features by today's standard. The original iPhone was primitive brick. As a reminder of how far the iPhone was, let's take a look at the features of the very first iPhone. Yeah, the very first iPhone was a revelation, and it looked in a way that was, funny compared to today's iPhone. The price was 499 US dollars and also 599 US dollars. The dimension was 4.5 by 2.6 by 0.46. The screen size was 3.5. It's actually fun to look back at how many common features were missing from the original iPhone. The original iPhone ran on 2G wireless, which was slow, and it was basically as slow as the home internet back then. The 2G connection was extra painful because AT&T was the only carrier option available. There was no app store on the first iPhone, which means that there was no Instagram, no third-party app. Beyond the touchscreen and sleek design, the defining concept of modern smartphone is apps. Yeah, when we're talking about smartphones, we're talking about applications, and unbelievably, when Apple first launched the iPhone, it had no app store. Steve Jobs was not sure if he wanted to have one because of his desire to totally control the experience. Eventually, he relented. It's actually a good thing he did, because Apple's App Store set the standard for how to extend smartphone functionality. Now, with the Apple's App Store, you can download applications and do things. It brings about flexibility. Well, the first iPhone was only black. There was no other color. That is, the background was black. You could not change the wallpaper on the very first iPhone. It took Apple 3 years to add the copy, cut, and paste icon. That is the feature of copying, paste, and cut. The first iPhone required a computer to set it up. It was another 5 years before Apple could cut the cord off. When you want to text a message in landscape, that was not included in the feature of the first iPhone. You could not text on a landscape. The first iPhone also could not do the sending picture over text. You could not send a picture over text. You can only send the basic text message on the very first version of the iPhone. when we are talking about Google Maps, the very first iPhone lacked Google Maps. Apple could not, install map applications on the very first iPhone. The first camera of the first iPhone was very, very weak and was not capable of taking the kind of fantastic and gorgeous pictures that the modern iPhone do. Yeah, one of the most gorgeous qualities of an iPhone these days is the ability of the iPhone to snap fantastic pictures, but the very first iPhone lacked that. On the first iPhone, there was no notification center, no Siri, and no control center. Things are all complex on the first iPhone, but this is a reminder of the huge feature of the very first iPhone in the year 2007. The first iPhone cost $499 for a 4 gig mode, and there was no $200 or subsidized options. The memory of the first iPhone was 4 gig. That was the lowest memory space, 4 gig, and it cost $499. Technology has actually taken different dimensions. Look at the days iPhone. We have a series of iPhone ranging from iPhone X, 11, and recently iPhone just dropped the 14, 14 Pro, 14 Mini, and the 14 Pro Max edition, which just premiered yesterday on the Apple's channel. Do well to check the Apple's channel to see the specification of the iPhone 14, 14 Pro, 14 Mini, 14 Pro Max. Well, to enjoy more of our content, kindly subscribe and turn on post notification. Do not forget to drop me a like on this content. Pass your comment in the comment box. Thank you.